Okay, we got Matthew 16. We're going to quickly read through this. It is a pretty short chapter on our way to Matthew 28. So I just believe in reading these passages as anybody who's followed Jesus for a while, all kinds of things will come together in your mind. So be sure to think about doing this practice yourself. I want to just do things that you could do. I don't want to look especially wise or trained. I don't look like some joker just reading out of the Bible. I think I can manage that. The Pharisees in chapter 16 of Matthew's, the Pharisees and Sadducees. Now there are words that you might trip over, but I think you do okay. And I think putting more Bible reading into the world would be important. So think about taking that work on yourself. The Pharisees and Sadducees came to Jesus and tested him by asking him to show them a sign from heaven. It sounds like you're at school. The teacher says we have a pop quiz. Show me a sign from heaven, Jesus. Pop quiz. He replied, when evening comes, you say it will be fair weather, for the sky is red. Red sky at night, sailor's delight. That's some kind of old saying. And in the morning, today it will be stormy, for the sky is red and overcast. Red sky in morning, sailors take warning. And I don't know. I know the saying. I don't know much more than that. You know how to interpret the appearance of the sky, but you cannot interpret the signs of the times. A wicked and adulterous generation looks for a sign, but none will be given it except the sign of Jonah. Jesus then left them and went away, and he didn't explain it. What's the sign of Jonah? Jonah's swallowed by a whale. What's the sign? Jesus thinks about being in the earth. Like Jonah was in the depths for 3 days. When he went across the lake, the disciples forgot to take bread. Be careful, Jesus said to them. I love this. Be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. The yeast, you don't want yeast to get in your bread. They discussed this among themselves and said, it is because we didn't bring any bread. We forgot the bread. Jesus is rebuking us. Aware of their discussion, Jesus asked, you of little faith, why are you talking among yourselves about having no bread? Do you still not understand? Don't you remember the 5 loaves for the 5,000 and how many basketfuls you gathered? Or the 7 loaves for the 4,000 and how many basketfuls you gathered? How is it that you don't understand? I was not talking to you about bread. But be on your guard against the yeast of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Then they understood that he was not telling them to guard against the yeast used in bread, but against the teaching of the Pharisees and Sadducees. Because that gets in your life and it starts filling it up. Our lives right now, in this age of the internet, too much information and a lot of bickering, our lives are full of something. They're getting filled up so that we don't even have any room to breathe. And there's this constant anxiety. What has come to fill our lives so much that it's not peace? I'll tell you that much. Peace doesn't seem to be filling our lives. When Jesus came across the region of Caesarea Philippi, he asked his disciples, who do the people say the Son of Man is? They replied, some say John the Baptist, others say Elijah, and still others Jeremiah or one of the prophets. What about you? He asked, who do you say I am? Simon Peter answered, always quick with a ready response, you are the Messiah, the Son of the living God. Jesus replied, blessed are you, Simon, son of Jonah, for this was not revealed to you. Revelation is just being revealed, and revelation is about the revelation of Jesus. He's revealed. Revelation. This was not revealed to you by flesh and blood, by your own brain power, but by my Father in heaven. And I tell you that you are Peter, And on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it. Now people discuss, what is he talking about? Is he building the church on Peter or on revelation that you can see who Jesus is? The revelation that Jesus is the Messiah. What is Jesus saying? Now people have interpreted it different ways because we are creatures of flesh and blood. We need the Spirit to reveal it to us. God reveals. I will give you the keys of the kingdom of heaven. Whatever you bind on earth will be bound in heaven, and whatever you loose on earth will be loosed in heaven. Then he ordered his disciples not to tell anyone that he was the Messiah. And I think what Peter has, we will also have. That we will have some ability to bind in heaven. So I think your children can be cared for, and you can trust them in Jesus' hands. I don't have any special revelation there. Or do I? I don't know. Don't tell anyone that he is the Messiah. From that time on, Jesus began, that's not what we're supposed to do anymore. Don't tell anyone about Jesus. From that time on, Jesus began to explain to his disciples that he must go to Jerusalem and suffer many things at the hands of the elders, the chief priests, and the teachers of the law, and that he must be killed on the third day, and on the third day be raised to life. And that's this Jonah sign. And let's put killing into the hands of our best leaders, the elders, chief priests, and teachers of the law. And that's the way the world works. Killing isn't done by the general populace. It's done by leaders. That is a very strange truth. Peter took him aside and began to rebuke him. "Never, Lord," he said. "This shall never happen to you." Peter, who had just got an incredible amount of praise. "Blessed are you, Simon." "Never, Lord, this shall never happen to you," that he would be taken by the teachers and Pharisees and killed. Jesus turned to Peter and said, "Get behind me, Satan. You are a stumbling block to me. You do not have in mind the concerns of God, but merely human concerns. A second ago, you were allowing God to move your heart. Now you're back to your own way of thinking." And he gets rebuked very sternly. That is a wild up and down right there. Then Jesus said to the disciples, "Whoever wants to be my disciple must deny themselves and take up their cross and follow me." So deny your life, carry an implement of suffering and death. And where does Jesus go? Into the grave. Follow him. Where are we following? To the grave. For whoever wants to save their life will lose it. But whoever loses their life for me will find it. Now you can put your hope that this is just metaphor. He's not literally saying that anyone would die for his sake. Oh no, don't worry about that. It's probably just metaphor. It's probably not literal. Think about that. What good will it be for someone to gain the whole world, yet forfeit their soul? And what can anyone give in exchange for their soul? For the Son of Man is going to come in his Father's glory with his angels, and then he will reward each person according to what they have done. And that sounds very works-based religion, and I tell you, I believe absolutely that Jesus does not promote works-based salvation or reward. There's something about that he says, I actually will do what will gain you a reward. But he leaves it open that we must take our actions seriously. We must think that lying means something, and that deceiving, and that murder, it means something to do that. So we can't take our actions lightly. Truly, I tell you, last line here, if you hung on to the end. Truly, I tell you, some who are standing here will not taste death before they see the Son of Man coming in his kingdom. and his kingdom came. So there it is. Okay, that is Matthew 16. We'll be moving on to Matthew 17 soon enough. Thanks for watching. See ya.